but to get the clarity. But that's my right, my birthright to ask those questions to make sure I get clarity and get certainty in these, especially when it comes to stuff that's very spiritual, because there's so much energy out there. There's negative energies. And you really understand, like, we are all energy. So to doubt that and to have that skepticism mentality is kind of crazy, because like, if you're just focused on this physical 5% of your brain and your body, then you're missing out on the whole 95% of your psyche and your imagination and all these different things. And a lot of our imaginations have been... 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome back to the Jumpseat Podcast. Hope you're all having a great week so far and having a great day. It's the middle of the week, and I am here just sharing some new things that I got from this retreat that I just got on. Or just got back from, and I am feeling fairly equal. I don't know if equal is the word, but equal is the word that I'm looking for. I don't really like using the word neutral because that doesn't feel right either. But I guess the best way to describe it is that I feel, after you go to retreats, a lot of people feel like really relaxed and like, oh, I'm good. I feel relaxed, energized, peaceful, happy, all the above, just like all at once. And I am getting new insight on things that I feel like I want to do going forward for my life. And I feel a lot more clarity within myself, and I feel a lot more approachable, confident, empowered within my own body, empowered within those connections that I have around me, and letting go a lot more of the ego and stepping more into my higher power, into my, all these different languages that I think we hear a lot all the time, but actually really understanding what that actually means is a whole nother story. Because you can sit here and hear someone's story about, oh, my higher self, this and this, my angels, guardian angels, whatever it is, spirit guides, all these different things. But until you actually experience them and experience that for yourself, and it feels like, and I think, I don't know, for me, when I used to hear all that, I was like, oh, I wish I could have that. And then I had the huge skeptic part of me that was just like, this is just a bunch of bull BS. I used to be very hardcore atheist, didn't believe anything. But when it comes to your psyche and your mind, your brain, and all these things scientifically proven on things are also really fascinating for me, especially coming from a skeptic point of view of things that I see in my mind, or in my mind's eye, the third eye, right? I've been really skeptical and not believing it. But I will say, in one of my experiences in the retreat was one of the sound healing, and kind of throughout the whole healing retreat, I felt like there really wasn't a whole lot there that I was picking up on and that I really needed. Of course, that was because of the skeptic part of me and the ego wanting to try to come in. And there's a lot of fear around, I think, some stuff when it comes to the third eye because of what's happened to me before, like going through this whole psychosis stage with shrooms, and like just it kind of did take that fear, or invited that fear from me when it comes to... Hang on. Okay, I'm back. That was my vacuum coming through, making all this loud noise. Kitty girl is what we call her. I don't know. What do you call it? iRobot vacuum? What do they call those things? There's other names for it. But anyway. So yeah, I mean, I had all this fear behind like a lot of opening my third eye again because of the psychosis that I went into, and like how it was, not to say that the experience was terrible and it was all bad or whatever. It wasn't bad. It was actually all good. It all led for things for my psyche that helped me later, but it was just a lot to take in. And so to me, whenever I go into like healing retreats, or you're not supposed to really take anything when it comes to healing yourself because your body already knows, and so like taking stuff usually can block you. But yeah, a lot of skepticism still was in there, and a lot of this fear around judgment or whatever, like judging myself or being judged by others. And so I don't know, like I think when I did the sound healing, I did crystal healing the day before and all that, and it was good. I just didn't visualize anything. I felt all the things in my body. I could also see colors, and I was seeing all those different things. But I was able to identify when one of the practices were going into your home and building a safe scene within homes. And for some reason, I could not picture myself going into a home. I felt kind of fearful of a home or uncomfortable in a home. And so every time I kept trying to picture that, I kept picturing this garden, but only that garden wasn't really clear either. So I just kind of asked upon my guides and my higher self to really just help guide me into that. Never got it in the crystal healing. However, I did get some healing done through that, I'm sure. Then the next day we did the sound healing. A lot of Native American drums, gongs, and different stuff implemented into this sound healing. And the practitioner would go around and do some healing with their hands and stuff too. Work on your third eye and stuff like that. So my intentions were kind of to work on my third eye and to be able to open up again. And I got just that. Like I was kind of towards the end. This sound healing was like a good, I don't know, hour and a half. And I was probably towards the last 30 minutes of it. So it was about a whole hour. I was sitting there just kind of like, oh, this feels good. I like the sounds. I like I'm not really scared. Just feeling this whole whatever. Just kind of feeling like my crystal healing, which was 30 minutes. I was like, oh, maybe I'm just going to be sitting here in this blank space, maybe just see these colors, and that's about it. And so I kind of relaxed because I was laying on our back, and I went like this, and I started laying like this, and then all of a sudden I felt all of this energy just come down to my heart center, and I felt all this space and all this color of yellow just opening up my whole entire body. And there was not any fear. It felt like an out of body experience, not even an out of body. It's more like inner body experience. It felt more like what people describe when they go these near death experience kind of situations. It was like that. However, I didn't see my body. I was inside my body physically. And I think I needed that experience because previous to things that I've had in my brain that had, been shown in my third eye has always been just a lot of illusions up here. But this time it came from the space of the heart. And so it was really nice to be in the heart because the heart knew what was true and what was real and what was authentic to my higher self. We did a lot of protection and stuff before we went into the sound healing, and I could definitely feel that. I felt my friend Seth, who passed, come and show up for me again as a yellow bird and said, stop limiting us to this idea of what we used to be when you were here and physically, because you as know well more than a lot of other people in your life because of your experience with the shrooms, that this stuff is real. Like, you've experienced these things. So stop doubting it. Stop being that skeptic in it all. Like, not that that's wrong. Like, I think my higher self knows how to help me question things when needing to question them, but to get the clarity. But that's my right, my birthright to ask those questions to make sure I get clarity and get certainty in these, especially when it comes to stuff that's very spiritual. Because there's so much energy out there. There's negative energies. And you really understand, like, we are all energy. So to doubt that and to have that skepticism mentality is kind of crazy, because, like, if you're just focused on this physical 5% of your brain and your body, then you're missing out on the whole 95% of your psyche and your imagination and all these different things. And a lot of our imaginations have been blocked, not only just from things in the world that's going on, but there's a lot of trauma. If you haven't experienced it, maybe personally, you have when you saw all these things on the news. You have when you turn on your phone in the morning and you see 10 million things about however your algorithm may be. I have a lot of cats on my algorithm, so there's a lot of love and joy for me. But I will say, when I go to, like, I don't know, X or what Twitter was and stuff like that, there's not a lot of filters on there. So there's a lot of, I think, images that come up on there that are triggering and also limit me from expressing and getting into this space, because that fear and that I don't know, kind of a little bit of stuff that is scary that I don't want to see. But in a space that's safe, it's nice to also see some of the scary things within yourself, because those are things that you need to work on. Those are the things that you want to elevate from and transmute. And so, like, whenever I feel things in my body now, I'm being more in tune with my body. I'm able to now see where things are coming up, whether it's aggression or frustration or fear or doubt or all these different things. I allow those feelings to surface so I can see where it's coming from. So I can now, with HMR, been able to kind of like go in sessions for myself and just kind of like guide myself through them a lot more better. So I'm learning a whole lot more about HMR and how to use it as a healing modality or a practice that, counselors and therapists can use. And I don't know, looking into doing it possibly myself as a personal trainer, and maybe even going back to school. I don't know. I'm just thinking about back to school. I never even went to school. So going to school and getting some type of degree in something. But I don't know. I just really feel led into this work because of how much it's improved my life. And I would love to share it with other people, because the biggest thing I love about this the most is that it's helping people be empowered to do this on their own, and that with the help with each other. Of course, once you learn how to do it, you can just ask your friends to come along, or other people to kind of help you, guide you into some things. But the most important guide that you have is your higher self. Your higher self is already in this plane. In my opinion, this is where I like to kind of describe it, is that you have your higher self already in this plane, who is with all these other people in your life who are also in this plane, that's acting out and living out things already in this present moment as well. So they're feeding things for you, they're giving you things, but this present moment, the ego and the physical body ties in all the physical things that they see around them, and while your higher self can see the bigger picture. You can only see this perception that you have right here, and with your eyes, your ears, all these things that are physical. And your spirit self is over here, overlooking it all and can see it all. And so can all these other people, your friends and everything. We're all one in this one space. Here, we're all separate. We're all in this tunnel vision, viewpoint of the world. And that's the best way I like to describe my higher self, God, divine source, is all one entity, really just helping you navigate your life. And I think it's very important to call upon that and help with that, get help with that. I mean, it's in all the religions, it's within all the, texts, ancient texts about love, and love being the center of the universe. Literally everything that is created has come from the space of love. So if you tap into that and bring yourself back into who you truly are, not with just these perceptions you have just with these physical eyes, but what's outside of that is the biggest picture. And I think scientists, it's really interesting, has been doing a lot of studies on how the brain works with the heart, with your all these chakras within your body, and how your body reacts, and how you're able to kind of see things and visualize things. That's all a realistic thing in this experience of life. And if you want to think it's crazy, woo woo, all the power to you. Because I have totally been there, and I totally know what it's like to be scared and a skeptic of the woo woo. But when you really have experienced things in life like death or crazy things that's happened in your life, and those who didn't know how to ground themselves or know how to navigate through it have gone into psychosis, or have gone into schizophrenia, or all these different terms that has been labeled as us as losing our mind, right? I no longer categorize myself as losing my mind. I just learn now to navigate through my mind and not let my mind be the part that I see all the time, because that's where all the illusions are. And that's also what creates a lot of our illusions in the reality that we're in as well. We also create from there and stuff like that. So we create from our heart space, though. That's the truth. That's what's real. That's what's strong. That's what's rooted into this love and this source. And if you connect with that, and connect it with your mind, of course, here in this lifetime, it's hard in our bodies to have them coexist with each other. They like to be very separate. So aligning that felt really important, to get all my chakras aligned. And those of you who do know about all this stuff, I would love to hear what you think, because this is something very new for me. Even though it's only been the last 3 years, it's new. It's been about 3 years now that I've been really diving into my healing journey, and especially as a flight attendant, traveling all the time. Like I tell people all the time, flight attendants, or these, I don't want to call everyone out, right? But for me, I feel like the most ungrounded person, literally and figuratively. We are literally in the sky all the time, furthest away from the ground and the earth. And so it's so like no brainer why my lower chakras are always out of alignment, because I'm not ever focusing on them or working on them, because I'm always literally in the sky. And a lot of times when I'm in the sky, I literally feel like a sky person or a cloud person, meaning that I'm always in this, illusion of the brain that wants to like fight my heart all the time and my gut. And, I just want to say, no, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what I see. And I need to fixate on that. And I miss out on all this 95% of my psyche and my reality that's true, because I'm so fixated and focused on just this one lens that I'm looking at. So when you can step out of that in a safe space, in a safe place for yourself, guided with your guardian angels, spirit guides, and all those, call upon them all the time, especially your higher self. Just call upon them, and be direct, be specific about what you want to share with, talk with them about, and don't treat them like a genie. It's yourself. Do you ever tell yourself to just like force things on him or force things on yourself to just do? No, it's out of alignment of what's true. Allow it to be done for you and just let go of the rest. Do what you have to do and you need to do in every moment, but don't fixate on all the little small details of like that you can't control. Let that be worked out in the spirit realm. And just when things come, let them come, and let them be, especially when things surface for yourself to work on. Don't try to work on all the things all at once, because that's overwhelming, and that's where ADHD and I don't know what's some other little labels that we put on ourselves to describe being out of alignment. So that's a lot right now that just kind of take in and share with you all, but I just wanted to share y'all my experience and some things that I gathered that I feel like I got the most out of this retreat. Stay tuned for more. I'm really, really excited because I am going to get a good group of at least 10 to 15 flight attendants together to do a healing retreat with them in the Fort Worth area. So if you were interested in that, please let me know. I would love to get you involved in that, and get the team together and just get that built over here in the Fort Worth area. So if you're interested, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Comment below if you're interested. Yes, I'm interested. Would love to do a retreat. You don't have to be a flight attendant. It's just we want to use a lot of flight attendants because there's things that Brent, the guy who created HMR, has done work in as flight attendants and flights and pilots and stuff like that before already. So it's something that I don't know. It's something I just feel like I'm aligned with, and that's where I'm at. So I've already talked to a lot of my friends about it, and the flight attendant friends. So if you're interested and you want to join me on a retreat here in Fort Worth, let me know and we'll get it all built and set up. We'll figure out a time and the place. I kind of feel like it's aligning, and go from there. But that's it for now. I don't want to make this video 30,000 minutes long, so that's it. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do. Thank you for watching. Thank you for just being you, doing the inner work that you have to do on yourself, because when you do that, you're healing us all, and vice versa. Everything that I heal, I'm healing the collective as well. So love yourself, give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, and never forget humility. Your humility. Why I cannot say that, I don't know. Anyway, that's it for now. Love, peace, and unity, and have a good day.